All right, let's talk about a huge decision that so many of us face at some point, leaving the family home. But we're not going to get into the logistics, the checklists or the moving trucks. No, we're going to talk about the feeling, the real human side of what is a major, major life transition. So let's just start right here with this one simple question. Does the home you've maybe lived in for decades, does it still actually fit the life that you are living today? This is really where it all begins. At some point, a lot of homeowners just start to notice this subtle feeling. Your life has changed, your routines are different, but the house is exactly the same, and it starts to feel just a little bit out of sync. To really understand this journey, we have to recognize a pretty fundamental shift. See, moving later in life is nothing like moving when you're younger. And that's because the entire goal, the reason why you're moving, has completely changed. And what's so interesting here is how clearly this lays it all out. Earlier in life, right, it was all about growth. It was about expansion. We needed more space, more rooms. But later in life, the focus totally shifts. It becomes about alignment. It's not about more space, it's about the right space. And the driver isn't expansion anymore. It's simplicity. Yeah, this really hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? For so many years, the default goal was just more. So shifting your whole mindset to finding a better fit, well, that can feel really strange. It's a mental gear shift that can take a long time to get used to. But this is where the real challenge comes in. Because what often surprises people is that the biggest hurdles in this whole process, they're not physical at all. They're the unseen ones, the mental and emotional journey you have to go on. This really gets to the heart of it. A home isn't just four walls and a roof. It's a container for your history. It holds all this time, all these memories and experiences. And the idea of letting that space go can feel like you're letting go of a piece of that history itself. So how does this whole thought process even start? Well, a lot of the time, it's with a very quiet, almost whispered realization. You start noticing the quiet rooms. That bedroom that used to have a clear purpose. Maybe it still has the faint pencil marks on the doorframe where you measured your kid's height. Now it just sits quiet. It's not really a part of your daily life anymore. But here is a really, really crucial point. Just because you notice this, it doesn't mean you have to do anything about it right away. Not at all. For most people, that very first thought of, maybe this house is too big now, comes years before a single moving box ever gets packed. There's a long, long road between awareness and action. And it is completely 100% normal for that stage of just thinking about it, of just considering it, to last for years. This is not a decision you rush. It's a process, and it unfolds at its own pace. And that is absolutely okay. So, if you're in that long thinking phase, here's a powerful way to reframe it that might really help. Downsizing isn't about erasing those memories or losing that history. Think of it this way. You're just creating the physical and even the mental space that you need for whatever your next chapter holds. Okay, so if we keep that idea in mind, how do you actually navigate this whole thing with a sense of empowerment? Well, the key really is to regain and maintain control, and you do that through proactive planning. So what does that actually mean? Well, proactive choice means you're in the driver's seat. It's the ability to make this move on your own timeline, looking at all the different possibilities and making your own decisions with total clarity, not because some sudden life event is forcing your hand. And look, staying in control doesn't mean you have to act now. It just means you start thinking early. You just casually start to get familiar with what your options are. It allows you to approach any decision in the future from a place of knowledge and calm intention, not sudden reaction. And when you take this proactive approach, something really cool happens. You get to shift the entire focus of the conversation. It stops being about everything you're leaving behind, and it starts being about what kind of lifestyle you want to create for yourself going forward. And suddenly, the questions that matter have absolutely nothing to do with square footage. They're all about quality of life. Is this new place easier to take care of? Is it located closer to the people and the things you love to do? Does it actually support how you want to spend your time? Does it just make your daily routine simpler? And this shift right here is maybe the most positive part of this whole journey. The moment you stop focusing on what you're leaving and you start actively designing a life that fits who you are today, the whole process becomes exciting. It's no longer an act of subtraction. It's an act of creation. And after all of the thinking, all of the hesitation, the planning, and the decisions, there is one feeling that homeowners almost always report feeling, and sometimes it's a total surprise. That feeling is relief. Just the pure relief of lighter responsibilities, a home that's easier to manage, and a life that just feels more nimble and flexible. So we'll just leave you with this thought. Downsizing isn't really about giving something up. It's about consciously creating a home that supports the life you want to live right now. So the only real question left is, what does that next chapter look like for you?